All right, what's going on, guys? I'm bringing you guys another RC no prep video. I have been a little distant from YouTube, and I can explain. So I have been messing around with the real car. I've been messing around with my Corvette. That thing is almost done, getting the few things all buttoned up, and I'll be posting videos on that shortly. I have been messing around with the RC cars as well. I just haven't been posting about it. I've been a little caught up, like I said, with my real car and with my daily job. I have been testing, and I'm gonna put a couple videos here. And as you can see in those videos, the car leaves without touching the bar, and then it just starts to boogie. I have been leaving pretty soft due to the surface that I've been racing on. I don't want to get it dialed in on a specific surface. I want to just kind of try out different surfaces and see what works. Other than that, this is a clip here of the Corvette of what we've been doing. So the issue we've been having with the Corvette was I had the intake manifold have a little issue. It was kind of defective, so it did started to leak and have a really bad vacuum leak on the whole driver's side bank. The whole driver's side bank of the intake manifold was all warped. All the runners were all warped up and cracked. So it wasn't really something I can control. It was kind of a defective product. I did get back to the company and they did send me a new intake. I have it already installed, put together. I just got to throw it back on the car and get my tuner to come by again and finish tuning the car, because we got as far as getting the car to idle. We just have to work on getting the car to start without having to give it gas and fine tune it all and to drive it. The car hasn't been driven in about 2 years, so I've been waiting for that drive. Even though it still needs a tune, I've just been very eager to drive that car. So I will be posting videos of that car shortly once I get everything squared away. I will be posting a lot of reaction videos. I want to take out a couple of my family members and co-workers and friends that haven't been in a fast car, so I want to give them a ride and just get their reaction. But back to the no prep. I finished coming back from cleaning it all up. What I'm gonna do today is take apart this diff and refresh the differential inside. The other little planetary gears that it has inside do wear out after 100 or few passes. you won't really tell the difference by physically looking at it, but you can tell the difference on the performance of the vehicle. You will notice on the big end the car will start to get loose by itself, and it just doesn't stay consistent. So to keep the consistency, everything the same, I usually take this diff apart about 100 or so passes, and I refresh the fluids in it. I do give a good walk around of the car and double check everything. I've been driving and making passes with the car, and I've noticed a couple screws being undone and so forth. So I've been kind of coming back and tightening those up with Loctite. So let me start getting this taken apart, and I'll get back to you guys once this is apart. All right, so I got the diff out. All I had to do was loosen these two top screws. You got two bottom screws over here in the bottom. You got 3 here in the motor plate. And then you just take off from the transmission this little brace, and it should slide right out. You just gotta wiggle this over, and boop, it'll pop right out. So if you guys did watch my video on installing this GFRP transmission, you guys could have seen in the video that I would spin this thing and it would spin a lot. Now it's kind of slowed down. It kind of has a lot of resistance. So it's kind of due for some maintenance. So let me take this apart, and I'll get back to you guys once I have that apart. Alright, so you can see it's pretty dirty inside. It's already due for maintenance. So what I'm gonna do is take all this out, take the diff fluid out, clean it all up, the casing. I'm gonna hit this with some brake cleaner, clean this all up. Same thing with all these. Just one thing to note, guys, do not clean your bearings with degreaser. You will ruin your bearings. The ideal thing to use is usually a cleaner that the bearing company provides, or you use some brake cleaner. Automotive works, that's what I use, and I clean up all this stuff. So I'm also gonna take apart all these bearings, the ones with the wheelie bar, and these as well. I'm gonna take them all out, clean those up too, and I'll show you guys in a bit how I do that once I get all these bearings taken apart. Alright, I got all the bearings taken out from the rear and the front. I couldn't get the ones in the rear out, it kind of stuck, but I barely even used the wheelie bar for anything, so it's just gonna stay like that. I'll just give it a little clean and, you know, a little grease, and that's about it. So let's go outside and clean these up with some brake cleaner and scrub up a little bit of these gears. What I like to use to clean up my bearings and all my parts is just a toothbrush you're not gonna use, and some good old brake cleaner. So super simple with me. I just hit these from pretty far. I would suggest using some gloves. Some people are pretty, you know, they're straight up savages and don't use gloves. I got eczema on my hands, so my skin is pretty sensitive. So I do use gloves because it dries up my skin like crazy. So we're gonna hit the case. So this is pretty clean. Same on the outside. So that's pretty good. Clean this up. All right. So this is cleaned up somewhat. Let me get the brush. So that's kind of how I do it. I'm not gonna bore you guys with this, so I'm gonna put a time lapse and I'll speed through this. All right, so I got this all cleaned up. Back to new. All these are all cleaned up with brake cleaner. I took apart this diff. I was going to replace the internal planetary gears in here, but I do not have with me some spares, so I'm gonna have to order some. I am just gonna refresh it and put some pack in some 100K fluid back in there and start getting this all put together. All right, so now that I got the fresh fluid in the diff, we're gonna start off by adding RC Speed Secrets bearing lube all around the bearings. And once we put everything together, we're gonna put it into the case and close it up. I got everything back together. Transmission's back on the car. I did put a little bit more grease than usual than I did last time, so it has a little bit more resistance, but once it starts to kind of roll and make passes, it starts to break down and smoothen up, but it's still smooth. As you can see, it's not spinning all the way, but look at that. One thing to note is how sensitive it is. The wheels are balanced, that's why it's not rocking back and forth, but just so you can see, look how smooth that thing spins. That thing is nice. So everything's all wrapped up. That's just basically what I do as far as maintenance. I do double check my alignments, my toe, my caster, all that. I make sure everything is how I set it up. I already had the car set up before I even did this video, so I know the alignment is on point. But that's just something I do. I already refreshed the diff and lubed up all the bearings, so that's pretty much it for maintenance. Besides just cleaning it off, that's what I do. And one thing I did want to show you guys is look at the tire, how it's putting in that work. You can see all the rubber. This is coming after a pass. The car is actually doing its job. The tire itself is pretty sweet. One thing I am going to tell you guys that I have been doing is I have been cambering the wheels a little bit positive. So when the car sits, it has kind of a positive camber. And the reason for that is I like to use some of this side tire instead of using the inner part, because the inner part, it is the 3.0, so it and this side is a 2.2. So you're kind of basically using all of this cushion of the tire for more contact patch and traction. People usually would leave the tires positive, and then when the car squats, it cambers in, and you don't want that. You want them a little positive outwards, so when the car does start to squat, it evens up. Same thing. So right now as it sits a little positive, and then when it comes down, it straightens out, and you're using the whole tire. So that's just a little thing I want to tell you guys that I'm doing, and that's what have been working for me. But that's pretty much it from what I got. I will be posting some more videos soon. More than likely it'll probably be about the Corvette, because that is almost done. And then I will start posting here and there videos of the RC no prep. I'm gonna probably try to get a couple guys together, and we're gonna probably try to do a grudge night for some money, and trying to see if I can get some video content out of that, and talk to the guys and see if they don't mind sharing their setup. But most of the guys that we do go out and grudge race with, they're pretty secretive, so I don't think they're gonna talk too much, but who knows, they probably will. So just to wrap up this video, I do appreciate all you guys that watch and comment. I do notice it, and I really appreciate all the new subscribers. For the people that have been watching my channel for a while already, I appreciate you guys. I will be doing a giveaway sometime soon. I'll put more details on that probably in the next video, and I'll show you guys what I'm gonna give away. If you guys did like the video, please feel free to drop a like, hit the share button, and subscribe. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. Peace.